Our first guest is engineer turned trained chef, Julie Hartigan. Julie has published thousands of recipes, shares healthy cooking and hosting tips on your favorite morning and lifestyle shows, and also hosts women's travel experiences to Italy. Chef Julie, it's great to have you on our
Hi,
show.
it's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited you're here because you're going to teach us about La Dolce Vita.
At home, let's bring some glam Italian vacation vibes into everybody's everyday life, right? Like, who doesn't want that? And yeah, I have some really fun tips and ideas to share with you today.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm planning my first trip
Perfect.
alone with my wife, which is totally new for
Perfect.
me to
Yeah.
Italy. So everything looks so delicious. What did you bring here today?
Yeah. Okay. So, well, first of all, I recently got to spend a month in Italy and get to stay at olive oil groves and farms and with locals. And I learned so many things about that La Dolce Vita lifestyle. It's really about slowing down, enjoying the good things in life, and a little bit of everything in moderation. We all know the Mediterranean diet is a healthy one, but Italians, their lifestyle too, places such a priority on just pressing pause, spending quality time with friends, the passeggiata, the after dinner walk. So I brought some dishes today from my cookbook called La Dolce Vita at Home. It's a free cookbook where I talk all about that Italian lifestyle. And these are really good examples. So first of all, Italians generally start their dinner or like a hangout after work with their friends with an aperitivo. Which would be a spritz, which is a really great cocktail because it's got club soda and prosecco, so it's a little bit lightened up. And they always remember to eat when they have some cocktails, which I think sometimes here in the U.S. we don't remember to do. So a really beautiful little nibble that you can make. These are pears with prosciutto and parmesan. And what's like fantastic about them and so representative of the Italian lifestyle. It's juicy, healthy pears that are in season. You only need a little bit of the Parmesan and the prosciutto to give it flavor, and then a tiny drizzle of balsamic vinegar. And again, all about the high quality, the authentic, the local.
And it looks so pretty on the plate, which
Thank
is so
You could
important.
do it as a nibble. You could make it as a salad. Here we have it with some greens. And then in the middle, there's this misconception. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of amazing pasta in Italy and pizza and all of that, and in my cookbook too. But they put a big priority on seasonal vegetables too, and really interesting ways with vegetables just to make them more glam and posh. So here I have some really typical roasted cauliflower, which you might see here at home, but what they do in Italy, a little sprinkle of some pecorino cheese, some pine nuts and parsley just to give it pop and color. And everywhere in Italy, I actually got to stay at an olive oil farm, traveled around. Everyone keeps a beautiful bottle of olive oil right on their table, restaurants, homes. So you'll finish your dish with just the tiniest little drizzle of olive oil like that. It adds so much like wow and impact. And then, okay, we can't we can't skip dessert, right? Italy is known for its
I
desserts,
guess
la
not.
dolce, the sweets. But what they do in Italy, whether you're sitting down with your espresso, which is definitely a cultural thing, they're not running around with paper cups of coffee, sloshing them everywhere. They're going to sit down with their cup of espresso and a beautiful little tart like those chocolate ganache mini tarts. It's a recipe of mine that's in my free cookbook. They take 10 minutes to make with just chocolate chips. No baking, just a little saucepan and little pre-made phyllo shells. So
That's right up
I like
Stephanie's
that.
yeah.
alley.
So, and they're a light bite. You don't have to go for, again, that misconception that in Italy the portions are going to be huge. They're not. They enjoy things, the good life in small amounts in moderation, and that's what makes it so healthy.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask about. I do think of going to an Italian restaurant and sort of family style with these
Mhm.
huge portions. Do you have any tips for cooking for one or two?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. So it's kind of a passion project of mine. I've published so many recipes, but 65% of the population are households that are either cooking for one or two, single, divorced, empty nester like me. So I use the engineer turned chef mind to come up with this. I hosted cooking clubs and cooking classes during the pandemic, and now I have the ultimate guide to cooking for one or two. And what you do, you take one set of ingredients at the beginning of the week, a short grocery list, but then creatively turn it into 4 different meals for one, so you use everything up.
Yeah,
That's
did you mention that there were
wonderful.
free
I
cookbooks?
do.
And
Honestly,
so can you
yeah.
tell us more about that?
I want to get this all out into
Yeah.
the world. So La Dolce Vita at Home, which has 10 great Italian inspired recipes, including these and lots of lifestyle tips. It's at juliehartigan.com. I also have 10 fun, healthy meals for one, which will solve your problem, and a free cooking class on my website. And more about my trips is on my site too.
Yeah, tell us
So,
more about that, the
uh,
women's Tuscany
you know,
trips. Like what?
so many women I have met in my life were putting off their dreams of travel, waiting for the right moment. And I wanted to create a really special, fun experience for them. So I'm hosting women's tours of Tuscany, and Sicily is to come. And we visit with women winemakers, women chefs. So it's kind of like an Italian you go girl moment, but a chef-led, very authentic trip to Italy. No tourist traps, very pampering spas. Women travel differently.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. This is, again, that's mine.
So you're going to have the cauliflower?
That's mine.
I was going to have that, but because you said that, I guess I'm going to have the dessert.
Oh, bummer. It's so hard.
And speaking of the sweet stuff, it's got me thinking about tooth health. And we come back, you're going to answer some very important questions about keeping our teeth healthy. So stay with us.